2 days ago, on November 23rd, I released a video, my last video, where we discussed Bitcoin coming back to 92,500 to create a consolidation before breaking 100K. Let's play the clip here. Bitcoin could consolidate here before getting a full run through 100K. As of right now, if Bitcoin were to pull back to, 92,500 or so, and then, form some sort of consolidation, a little bit of sideways action in this range, well, I would consider that to be very constructive, very bullish price action. There is absolutely nothing wrong with price action like this, right? That's still an uptrend. If you were looking at social media, people were probably in a panic, wondering if this is the end. Of course, every time there's a red candle, people think that it's a really bad thing, but it's not always bad. This is a test of demand for Bitcoin, the exact level that we discussed in the last video, and that price level, which is actually a pretty shallow retrace. This pullback is really nothing in Bitcoin land. This type of a pullback that you just saw today, we call that a Monday. It's a standard day. If you take out your fibs from the last swing low and put it at your swing high, you can see we actually didn't even reach the 236. So this is considered a very shallow retrace. This is the smallest correction you could actually ask for in the land of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin holds this level and actually consolidates and breaks out again, Bitcoin's being really nice to us if that's the case. And if Bitcoin is able to close around the overbought zone, right? If we bounce up and the RSI ticks up a little bit more, it doesn't have to be exactly 70, but if it's somewhat around the 70 level, the overbought zone, and we bounce there, I would consider that to be a signal of major momentum and possibly continuation to the upside. And now let me bring up the MACD. Another one of the reasons why we were looking for this pullback 2 days ago was the MACD. The MACD was suggesting that the bulls were losing momentum. And they were losing momentum actually since about 90,000. And MACD was trending down, showing that the bulls are losing momentum as the price was hitting higher highs. That is usually a signal that there's going to be some sort of retrace, pullback, dump, whatever. And that's what we got today. And so right now, I'm pretty satisfied with this price action. There's a lot of demand for Bitcoin. And if we hold this level, I think that means we might just kind of settle up going into Thanksgiving. Maybe one more test down after Thanksgiving, maybe not. But ultimately, we're looking for the 100K level most likely by the new year. If Bitcoin maintains this trend line and just breaks out again, we'll probably have 100K in December. If we are unable to maintain this trend line and we dip maybe one more time to the 382 fib, which is like 87,500, well, then we would probably have 100K maybe at the end of December or going into the new year. Those are the two scenarios that I find likely, and I don't think we would be going much lower than that. That's the lowest I think we would go. More likely, I think we've at least hit support for now. We're in the uptrend. The trend is still our friend, and our bias here, or at least my bias, should be bullish. This is a custom indicator called the Trend ID signal band, which my members in Patreon and Discord have access to this. Fairly simple indicator, but very useful. It's helpful for helping you judge what your bias should be in any given trend. You can see in 2022, it captured the entire bear run. In 2021, the whole bull run was captured, right? And so right now, Bitcoin has flashed, well, a while ago, that was October, we flashed the bullish signal on the Trend ID signal band. The Trend ID signal band is suggesting our bias should still be bullish, and this will probably last for a very long time. And also, not to mention something that we've discussed probably the most, which a lot of you guys probably know what I'm about to say, and that is our parabolic trend. Bitcoin is now possibly in the beginning of the creation of what could be base 4. Now, you never know how long a base is going to take to be created, and you never know what it's actually going to look like. Bitcoin could bounce off this level, run up to 100 something, and then actually pull back with a huge fake out and then go for a full run after, meaning that Bitcoin could play out one of those classic 30% dips before actually getting a major, shot up to the top of the parabola. I mean, nobody really likes to hear that, right? But let's say Bitcoin runs up, into, 105,000 or, 110 even. It's possible that after that happens, there's a lot of profit taking and Bitcoin gives us a mind-blowing dump into like the 80K range and then immediately just shoots back up and starts to go fully parabolic with the full final parabolic extension into 124,000, which is my target for the parabola, not the cycle peak. The parabola, based on the textbook, which we've talked about a lot. This a scenario right here in the longer term would not be a surprise at all. It would be very reminiscent of things like 2017. 2017, you would have these epic runs with 40% dips. Bitcoin breaks its all-time high, 40% down, runs all the way up to a new high, 40% down, runs all the way up, almost 40% down, 30% down, and then runs all the way to 20,000. And so people probably think that this, what I just said, is crazy, but it's not. Bitcoin runs to 105, 110K, pulls back, what is that, 23, 25%? No big deal. No big deal. That is standard. And then Bitcoin goes for the full parabolic extension to a much higher target. So this type of volatility should be expected in a bull market. This is the type of price action that I expect moving forward, that we would continue to see a lot of demand. The price continues to go up, but we continue to see a lot of profit taking at a six-figure level. I mean, think about it. A lot of people are going to FOMO into six figures, and then they're going to panic out at a major wick low, wash the market, and then look to rip at high speeds with high velocity, way above six figures, way into the 120,000 range. This is what I call classic Bitcoin volatility. This is what I expect moving forward. I mean, short term, we hit our target, 92,500. I wouldn't be surprised to see this get bought up quickly as long as the stock market, as long as the S&P 500 can remain stable in this range and continue up. Bitcoin will likely also continue up. And usually how it works as well is that when Bitcoin trickles up to a peak, a local top, like possibly, I'm just throwing out a number like 110,000, the altcoins are going to go crazy when Bitcoin is hitting that peak. And then there's a huge correction. And then on this bounce, there's like a major moment in the market where like portfolios are doubling or tripling in the altcoin market after that pullback in this run to a new high. Excitement reaches huge levels. Enthusiasm, sentiment is really high. People are becoming euphoric after we break into a new high. Everyone that held on the dip is rewarded for it. People are, making more money than they ever have in the cycle thus far. At this point in the cycle, things become heavily overvalued, but it's a good time to be taking profit on your risky positions. But once again, don't be surprised to get your mind blown in a few months. Do not be surprised if this happens. And we're talking like many months. Like this drawing, this depiction is showing like March or April that this type of a pullback would take place to retest the parabolic trend line to finalize base 4 of the parabola before going vertical, more or less, into the textbook target of 124,000. Cycle peak target, we'll have to see. When do we get there? What does it look like? And then we'll analyze it as it comes. But for now, I think this is a pretty good setup. I think altcoins are going to do fantastic going into this next local top, and that could last many months. That is just, the scenario right now. Things could change. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Kev, this isn't bullish enough, but we'll see. We will see how it goes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to comment below, leave your thoughts below, and join the Patreon. To get in my Discord, you can only get in my Discord by being a Patreon member. Join the community, talk to me directly every weekday morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We talk about charts, trends, trades, altcoins, all that stuff. Join today, limited slots. Use that link below, and I'll see you all in the next video.